Good morning. Thank you for joining us for today's traveler training for the new Travel and Expense module. My name is Kathy Blackburn. I'm the General Ledger Accounting Manager, and today joining me is Joanne Callahan, the PeopleSoft Training Facilitator. Today's agenda is we're going to be talking about updating your banking information, reviewing transaction types, approving travel authorizations, travel advances, and expense reports. The benefit of the new travel and expense module is that it's powerful yet easy to use, and it dramatically reduces the amount of time and effort required to submit, approve, process, and pay expense reports. Also, it has the ability to encumber your travel authorization on your budget. The first step in using the travel and expense module is entering bank account information. By entering your banking information, it validates you as a traveler. This allows proxies to enter transactions on your behalf. You want to make sure that your banking information is correct and updated. All payments will be made via ACH. Let's take a quick look at the different types of expense transactions. We have a travel authorization, was known as a TA in the old system, a travel advance, and an expense report, what we used to call a TRV. A travel authorization is an estimate of what the employee's costs may be for hotel, transportation, etc. Travel authorizations are required in the new travel and expense module for expenses over $5,000, all foreign travel, and any travel advance. Your department may decide to do travel authorizations for all travel. That will be a department's individual requirement. After a TA is submitted, approved, and budget checked, the amount on the travel authorization becomes encumbered on your budget. Basically, the full amount is set aside from the budget. Of course, the travel department will perform all final approvals on these. A travel advance allows an employee to minimize the impact of business travel on their personal finances. You can create a travel advance to pay for such items as hotel lodging and meals. A travel authorization for all travel advances. A travel advance can be created for 70% of your total estimated expenses for hotel, lodging, and meals, but it cannot exceed $3,000 per policy. And only one travel advance at a time, and it will be applied to an expense report, or you will be required to repay the funds to the university. The travel department will perform final approval on all travel advances. An expense report in PeopleSoft will allow you to take a handful of your receipts and create a final document for expense reimbursement. You can create an expense report by not associating a travel authorization if it doesn't meet the requirements. You can create an expense report by associating a travel authorization, in other words, for travel over $5,000 or any foreign travel. And you can create an expense report associating both a travel advance and a travel authorization. Now we're going to step away from the PowerPoint presentation and show you how to update your banking information. This will be the first thing you do to begin to use the new travel and expense module. One of the things that you want to make sure that you have your correct banking information. You will need to have your routing number and your bank account. And once you have input this information in PeopleSoft and it is correct and you have saved it, it will allow you then to create travel transactions, both a travel authorization, a travel advance, and an expense report, or it will allow a proxy to create these expense transactions on your behalf. So let's flip over to PeopleSoft and we'll sign in. All right. This is what it'll look like when you first try to sign into PeopleSoft, you'll be able to use your network ID and password. Let's do that now. All right, once you sign in, of course you're going to want to make sure you have a cancel check handy before you get to this screen. And the first navigation you'll do is you'll go to Main Menu, Employee Self-Service, Travel and Expense, and Review, Edit Your Profile. Once you get on this page, you're going to first want to verify your name. And if you click on your organizational data, in your case, when you first go in, it's going to say no, so you have not been validated yet. So you're going to want to click on the USC Bank Accounts tab. When you get on this tab, the first thing you'll do is scroll down to Banking Information. You're going to want to click that little button, and it's going to give you instructions to tell you where your routing number is located and where your account number is located so that you'll have the correct information to put into this tab. Once you're comfortable with that, if you'll just X out of the screen, come over and type in your bank account name, your routing number, your account number, and if you noticed on this screen, my account number is masked, so I can't see the number. If you will click in this box that shows bank account number, this actually allows only you to have your bank account visible to you. So type in your account number and then the type of account you're choosing. And once you hit the Save button, if you notice that it will once again mask the number for you. Once you've done that, the other item that we'd like for you to verify is your email address up here in the right corner. As you notice, mine has an @mailbox.sc.edu account. Some of the colleges use different mailboxes. That's completely fine. If this is correct or not correct, we ask that you click on the button that says Update Your Email. It will take you to your user profile. If you'll scroll down to your email account, so in my case, you saw the same email here, and it's clicked as primary. If you are using primarily a different email address than what's visible, and it's not showing here, if you'll click the plus button, it'll open up an additional line for you. If you'll put in your email address that you use here, select the email type, typically business, and then uncheck the first one, check the second one. It will then use this email address for all correspondence for the T&E module. Also, while you're in this screen, if you will ensure that your workflow attributes email user is checked, that way when someone has done an expense transaction on your behalf, you will receive an email telling you that it's ready for you to approve. In my case, I actually use the @mailbox.sc.edu, so I'm going to take the second line away, and everything is good for me, so I'm going to hit OK.
Be sure to check your primary email account again.
And then in my case, I'm going to check my primary email account again, hit OK, and then it will populate whatever email account you just updated it to on your front page.
And every time you make a change either to your banking information and to your email, you're actually going to receive emails letting you know that those changes have been made.
Correct. So we're going to hit the Save button. At this point, you're going to want to go back up to your Organizational Data tab, click on it, and you want to verify that it says Valid for Expenses, yes, and Reason for Status, Passed all validation edits. If both of these are correct, then you are good to go with your banking information. Now you are valid as a travel and expense traveler, and someone can do expense transactions on your behalf, and you can also approve those transactions. So that's the next thing that we're going to do, is we're going to move to approving expense transactions from the traveler. As a traveler, when you receive an email that something has been done on your behalf, you want to make sure that it's saying you and the trip that you've taken. You will receive emails both for travel authorizations, expense reports, and travel advances. So we're going to flip over, and once someone has done a travel authorization on your behalf, like I said, you'll receive an email. So we're going to look at what that looks like. Okay. So you'll receive an email that will tell you you have a travel authorization out there. You'll be able to verify that it's your name, your destination or the trip that you took, and the amount that they have set aside in this travel authorization, $2,900, and a link to go into PeopleSoft to be able to approve that transaction. Just click on the link. It will take you to an approval page.
You need to make sure you're logged into PeopleSoft before you click that link, making sure that it will bring you directly to that approval page.
Correct. So once you get on this approval page, it will tell you once again who's traveling. In this case, it would be me. A description where you're traveling. It will give you the dates of your travel, the expense types for your travel authorization. Remember, these are estimates. Here you have airfare, hotel, lodging, and meals. This is the total amount of the travel authorization. You may have quotes that were attached to it. You can click on the attachments to look at it. We'll click here. Click on the quote. It tells you, it actually just brings you up a screen of what the quote was. When you're done with that, just X out of that. Click OK. Bring you back to your approval page. The proxy may have put notes in there for you. You can click on your notes section if they did. So the proxy here was Joanne. She said that I was speaking at a conference in Hong Kong, so I can see her notes. If I want to add notes, I can do that here, put it in and click the Add Notes and click OK. Now that everything looks good, I have the opportunity to approve this or send it back. If I decide that something is incorrect on this, I need to put a comment in here, and then the send back button would send it back to the proxy, and that would allow them to fix whatever was not correct on this travel authorization. So now we're going to hit the approve button and click OK. And your travel authorization has gone on to the next level of the approval workflow. So you will also get an email for travel advances that have been created on your behalf by your proxy. Once again, you're going to want to go into your email and pull up your travel advance. You'll go through the same process here. You're going to ensure that your name is there, what type of conference that you're going to, and the advance that you would be looking for. Click the link. Of course, you'll need to be signed into PeopleSoft. Click the link. It will pull up an approval page very similar to your travel authorization. You will once again want to verify that that is your name, the purpose of your trip. And in a travel advance, you're only getting 70% of your hotel and lodging, so you just want to validate that amount. You also have the option here to send it back. You would want to put a note in there if you decided to send it back to the proxy. The proxy can put notes in this section or may have attachments in this section. You would do the same process that we looked at before. Open your attachments or click on your notes to see what was in there. If you're good with that, you would then hit the approve button, click OK, and it will move forward in your workflow. Of course, when you get back from your trip and you turn in your receipts and an expense report has been done on your behalf, you will once again receive an email. Okay, and then you would want to verify the same information, that your name is showing, the conference that you attended, and the amount of You would click the link. Of course, you would need to make sure that you're signed into PeopleSoft. Click the link. Receive the same type of approval page. You're going to verify your name, the description of the trip you took. You're then going to look and see the amount of reimbursement that you expect to receive. If you scroll down, you're going to see the expense types that were keyed in on your behalf. So you had a hotel at Hyatt, you had meals for the trip, and you had mileage reimbursement. If that included everything that you submitted and you're comfortable with that, then you would be ready. Once again, on the expense report, you have attachments. That should be all your receipts that you submitted to your proxy. The proxy may have notes there for you. If all of that looks good, or if you notice down here that they have missed a receipt, you can once again send it back, put a comment in there. The comment would be missing my car rental receipt, or my Uber receipt, or whatever they were missing. Send it back. The proxy would then see that on their page. They would be able to add that and send that back to you, and you would go through this process again. If you're good with your expense report, hit the approval button, hit OK, and now it has moved through the approval workflow. At this point, you have seen how you can approve both a travel authorization, a travel advance, and an expense report. Okay, we thank you for joining us today for the webinar. We hope you have a great rest of your day.
Any questions about anything that we talked about today, you can contact the travel office at traveloffice@sc.edu, and they will be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you, and have a good one.
Thank you.